It's these two guys.
These two guys.
It's these two guys.
Hey everybody, this is Larry Richardson,
George Henry here.
and we are
These
Two
Two
Guys. Actually, there's an update on the $1.776 billion anti-weaponization fund.
That we just
All
talked
right?
about last week.
Yep, we just covered it last week. So most of you guys are watching the news, you already know where this is.
Right.
But we're gonna go over some of the.
But basically,
cover
if
some
you
key
were
stuff.
hoping for money,
Not gonna get it.
you're not going to get it. Anyway,
Not gonna get it.
so let's see kind of what's happened now. On May 18th, the fund was technically created, or it was announced on there to fund that as a part of a settlement involving President Trump's lawsuit against the IRS.
Mm-hmm.
And then on May 29th, a judge issued a temporarily blocking the fund from being established or making any payments. June 2nd and 3rd, Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche told Congress, we're not moving forward with the fund, period. So he pretty much put the kibosh on it right there.
Gosh on it. Yep.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Like I said, I thought it was, I thought it was kind of a stupid thing at the same time. Kind of understand a little bit of it, but then again, at the same time, I couldn't see anybody who would be able to solidly justify any weaponization. Weaponization.
Yeah, you like that word.
I do love that word. It
Well,
loves
see,
me too.
my thought about it was, and again, I don't want to be a hater. I'm not trying to be a hater. But I think that the idea was a good idea. I think that because of how it came to be, it sounded like this is a way to put money in people's pockets that are bad players.
Yeah.
That's how it sounded to me. And I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm wrong. And as I say that, I got to stop for a second. Folks, listen. I don't care if you disagree with us. I don't care if you disagree with me, you agree with Larry, disagree with me, disagree with Larry, agree with me. When you make comments that on our clips and stuff like that, and just say you're an idiot, that really speaks more about you than it does about us.
Agreed 100%.
If you're gonna disagree with something we're saying, or you feel strongly about something we're saying that it's not right, tell us why in the comments. Don't just sit there and make a disparaging remark.
Yeah, and then just walk away. I'm gonna drop the idiot phrase, take my ball and go home, and I'm not gonna tell you why I think you're an idiot or give you a better argument. Like you're wrong because of this. And we're both open for dialogue.
You could even say you're an idiot because of this.
Because of X, Y, Z.
Right. But don't just say you're an idiot or you're stupid or you're a fool, something like that, because trust me, I've known Larry for a little while now. Larry knows me. Neither one of us are idiots.
No.
Now, we may get opinionated sometimes, and we try to hold that to a minimum. We do. But.
And we're not, we're human. We will say wrong things, and we may have been wrong or whatever you think we're an idiot about, but just say something. Don't just say idiot and walk away. I'm sorry. That kind of burns me.
Yeah.
That kind of burns me. Yeah.
Again, I don't mind negative comments. And, if you're watching us and you're being negative, at least you're watching us.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe, even if you hate us.
And
by the way, another one today, 119.
Ooh, moving on up, guys.
We're climbing slowly. We're going to get up there eventually. But anyway.
And thank you guys for watching. Even the guy with the comment, like he said, obviously you watched. We do appreciate you watching, and we will totally welcome the comments. We totally welcome the debate, the conversation. Tell us why we're an idiot. Yeah. And if we're wrong, you know what? I don't think we're above posting a retraction.
No.
If that's
and it's not that. It's not that you make the comment you're an idiot. That says a lot about you. But if you sit there and give us a sentence or two on why, that really cements your point. Even if you're wrong or we're wrong, it cements your point as being a critical thinker and someone who gives a crap, about what they're saying. Again, I don't have a problem with it. So.
Yeah. So back to the $1.77 billion slush fund, the spirit of 1776,
That's
I guess
right.
we can call it now. As of today, there's no claims have been made. And obviously, no money has been paid out, and there's been, nothing's distributed. Again, I think aside from that, and this is just my opinion, aside from the fun, I do feel that no matter what Trump does is going to get negative shot down.
Well, that's what
right?
that's exactly the point I was making earlier. It's because of where it came from.
Where it came from.
Not necessarily a bad idea, but because what's going on in our Congress and in our Senate and in this administration, it automatically gets this like negative
Yeah.
connotation towards it.
And here's a question for you guys. Throw this in the comments, but respectfully. Ask you a question. Let's say the next president, comes about, right? And then they create their own 1776 slush fund against Trump's DOJ, which I feel is somewhat weaponized, right?
Yeah.
So, and you probably feel it too. Would you feel the same way if the next president says, I'm going to start a fund to do exactly the same thing this did against Trump? Be honest. Just throw that comment
I
out.
don't think Gavin would do that, to be honest with you. I'm kidding.
He'll just use the rest of that to finish that train. The high-speed train.
He could use that.
I think they laid a track.
Did they lay some track?
I heard there's metal on the ground, is what I understand.
That's a whole. That's a whole other thing we can get into, because I was on the company's high-speed version that goes from Miami to Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Oh, the high speed, yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, I hope they do get it because it's phenomenal.
I think the one from UK to Paris is also. I think that one's
the same
also high
company?
speed.
Well, that's high speed,
It's a
definitely.
high speed, but
Yeah.
they are wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful trains.
Anyway, so just to wrap this up real quick, fun's dead effectively. Courts still haven't related a case pending to it, or still have related cases pending. I'm sorry, I misread that. So, but we'll see.
Yeah, and currently, you said it's halted, indefinite, significant criticism from Democrats and Republicans. So this is a bipartisan hate. This is not just the Democrats hating on Trump. Republicans are like, this is a bad idea.
Well, and it could be because they know if another president gets in, it could go against them.
Yeah.
And again, if it's something that's not going to help both sides equally, then it's probably not a good thing.
Right, I agree.
Yeah.
And concerns over lack of oversight and legal authority. That's one of the sightings of why it was stopped. It just.
Well, anytime you put 1.776 billion or any similar amount into some kind of fund, things start to disappear.
Yes.
That's a conjecture. That's an assumption. But you know how it goes. What happened to all that money, quote unquote? What happened to all that money we sent to Iraq to rebuild, to Afghanistan? What happened to all that money?
Yeah. We write a check for $1 billion, but for some reason we can only account for $400 million worth of receipts.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's guaranteed. And that's also bipartisan observation. I don't care who's in charge. Money always disappear.
All right. Let's switch our hats now here. As many of you may have been paying attention, maybe you haven't been paying attention, but over the past few years, there have been scientists, military personnel associated with certain aspects of jet propulsion, gravity, scientific gravity research, anti-gravity research, different things, nuclear power, stuff like that, have been showing up missing or deceased. Now, according to Nancy Grace, there were 16.
Bombshell tonight. The FBI probing space scientists either dead or missing. And at this hour, the toll has risen to 16.
But however, that is not necessarily an accurate number. There are 11 for sure that we know of. And the others are internet rumors and conjecture.
I'm sorry. You said showing up missing. Have you ever seen
Showing up, missing?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. You get the play on words.
Yeah. What was that
Okay.
scary movie when you wake up dead?
Yeah,
When you wake up missing. It was like, sorry, I digress.
Yeah, but I know I get that though. Showed up missing, but there are folks, and most recently, I think it was the end of May. There was the last was Melissa Casillas was discovered May 28th. She was administrative assistant in the Los Alamos National Laboratory in New Mexico. She went missing in June of 2025.
Yeah.
She left her belongings behind, Hiker discovered her skeletonized remains in the Carson National Forest with a handgun nearby. The New Mexico Office of the Medical Investigator is actively examining the cause of death.
Yeah. The supposed narrative touted heavily online as a scientist number 16, as an insider silence of classical nuclear
For classified nuclear secrets.
Yeah, classified nuclear
Again,
secrets.
like they said, she was the one where Nancy Grace said, "Oh, this is number 16," but really, there's 11 confirmed firm people that we can talk about. Now, what makes this interesting is that last year a documentary came out called "The Age of Disclosure," which talked about how we're starting to talk more freely, including our military, our government, about the possibilities of aliens being here. I was just watching Bill Maher, which I used to like him. I'm not really a fan of his anymore. He's gotten kind of really too weird for me. But he's going like, yeah, they're real. Come on, everybody knows they're real. Well, everybody doesn't know they're real, but even he's come and saying it. There's a lot of people saying that, they've been a part of it. And it's not talking about the old 70s where they kidnapped somebody and they anally probed them.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not that kind of stuff. It's actually, they fired a rocket at one. They fired a Hellfire missile at one, and it just bounced off of it. They have video of that,
Yeah. This was in the age of disclosure.
This was just recently. The video came out with some of the dumps that they did, the military dumps that they did. But so the age of disclosure. Now, this next week coming up is Steven Spielberg's movie Disclosure Day, which is about sort of that whole thing about it coming to light. We're seeing a whole lot more of this, but if we're seeing a lot and hearing a lot more about this, why are there people disappearing?
Yeah.
Why are there people ending up dead because of this?
Yeah, it's pretty scary when you really think of the fact that what these people did, and combined, you put all these people in a room and tell them you want to build a spaceship, you want to do some, or some type of space age weapon. These are the people that you would get to do that. These are the people that you would get to dissect a alien spacecraft, or some of them an actual alien body, and they're all dying.
Well, and even things like mapping out dark matter, and stuff like that. Because I think we know so little about some of these things as regular citizens. We don't have the background. We don't have the information that's in these little rooms that these people are talking about on what's really going on. And who knows? It's like, George Bush was talking about how, there's things out there that we know about, but I can't tell you.
Yeah.
Obama kind of said the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still of a mind that, there's
Are
other.
you open-minded?
Very open-minded. I'm very open-minded. I still believe that there's something out there. I mean, there's like I said, there's another sun, there's another third planet, another planet capable of, of life, and who knows? I mean, there's something that's been out there way longer than ours has been. Why wouldn't they be able to?
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. So there's the first initial draw were these four people: Major General William Neal McCasland. All right, he has been missing since February of this year. Dr. Carl Johann Grillmeyer. He's deceased. His remains were found February 16th. Melissa Casillas, we just talked about. And then Dr. Michael David Hicks. He confirmed deceased back in 2023. So literally in the last 3 to 4 years, all this is happening. And I don't know. I mean, are people just trying to put this together, or is this, some kind of conspiracy that's going on?
Yeah, I mean, based on some of the ranges of when these people disappeared, I mean, a lot of them since 2025. Most of them since 20. I think the earliest one was 2021?
21 or 22.
Is it 21 or 22? I think that was the earliest case of...
Dr. Amy Eskridge was back in 2022.
And she
see that
passed
one
away
there.
from a gunshot wound back in 2022,
Yeah.
which was officially ruled a suicide by local law enforcement.
Like Jeffrey Epstein.
She Epstein herself. No, I didn't say that, just in case there's any lawyers listening.
Yeah. Now, weren't we barred from saying the word suicide on YouTube?
They can demonetize you for saying it.
Oh, well, we're not monetized, so we're okay.
So you have to say unalived
Yeah.
is the
He
preferred.
unalived himself. Okay.
Yeah. Amy
My
unalived.
apologies for that, YouTube. But anyway. So yeah, 2022, that's the latest. And of the 11 that we know of, that was the earliest one. And again, she was, let's see, her role, aerospace and anti-gravity research scientist from Huntsville, Alabama. So she was one of the anti-gravity folks there. Yeah, let's see. Her case was retroactively dragged into the 2026 internet phenomenon due to her experimental field. So I guess there's different things that link everybody, whether you're working on experimental stuff or you're working on known stuff, dark matter stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I just think of, because I'm a huge, movie guy, I think of these movies like Sphere and The Arrival and things like that, where something happens and they pull, they pull these specialists together. There's a written article or something that suggests this is what we do in case of this happens, and then all of a sudden now you're pulling all these people in.
Right, and you may even have people that on the outside seem unrelated to it, but once they get in there, you see how what they're doing relates to the stuff they're doing.
The situation, yeah.
Like Contact, that was, I thought that was a great movie.
Yeah, same.
It was a great movie. But anyway, and you wonder if maybe some of this stuff wasn't done or produced to prepare us.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Hollywood has a pulse on things that are going on. I know some of the bigger guys, like the Obamas wrote that movie where technology went crazy. Remember when all the Teslas were driving themselves and stuff?
Oh yeah, and the people were on the island and the boat came in.
Yeah,
is that the one where the boat came in?
The ship comes in.
Ships come in and doesn't
the plane
stop.
crashes.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
That was the Obamas wrote that?
I think they produced it, or it was
Okay.
like a story or something like that from them. I know they were tied into it pretty heavily. And then you got Steven Spielberg. Obviously that guy probably gets a peek behind the curtain too. He comes out with Disclosure Day, right? We're getting these dumps of alien ships. We're finding out now this is a big story with all the scientists and everything that disappeared, and we get Disclosure Day, So I'm not saying that one really leads to the other, just kind of the timing of all this stuff.
Well, and Hollywood gets a bad rap for their political stances, which is not. I'm sure this is not what this is. It's just another movie, but. You kind of get a sour taste in your mouth when things come up because it's like, well, is this just another propaganda thing, that's going on out there? And I know there's actors and that out there that don't subscribe to the liberal aspect of filmmaking and stuff like that. And then there's some out there that just want a job. So,
Yeah.
Anyway.
But do you want to go over some of the roles and what these guys have done? Because I think you have all the roles. We have the first four. Oh no, you have them all.
Yeah, we have them all there. So Major General William Neal McCaslin, former commander of the Air Force Research Laboratory at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, highly distinguished 34-year military aerospace career. He vanished on foot from his home in Albuquerque, New Mexico. His phone, smartwatch, and glasses were left behind, but a .38 caliber revolver and hiking boots are missing. Authorities issued a silver alert, noting he was experiencing severe mental fog, short-term memory loss, and anxiety due to new medication, or he was kidnapped by an alien spacecraft.
By Gray.
Why not?
And you have Dr. Carl Johann Grillmeyer. He was confirmed deceased back in February 2016,
So
2026, just this year. And his role was a renowned Caltech and NASA JPL, I guess it's
Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Yeah.
Jet Propulsion Laboratory, astronomer and astrophysicist, famous for discovering stellar streams and mapping dark matter and exoplanet atmospheres. Is that exos external?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the hemisphere and the stratosphere and all these other spheres that's in there. I guess.
Sure. I'll go with that.
Yeah, I don't know. If you
go
know,
with that.
comment. Let us know. Don't call us idiots because we don't know. Just tell us what it is. Help educate the rest of us. He was shot once in the neck on his front porch in Llano, California. As a 29-year-old local man, I won't say his name, was quickly arrested and charged with his murder. Prosecutors state the suspect was on a violent, random carjacking and burglary spree, and after stealing his mother's car, kind of ends there. It's kind of weird. After stealing his mother's car. Sorry, not Ann. I saw that extra letter there. So yeah, he was on a violent carjacking and burglary spree after he stole his mother's car. Ended up running in the car, shot him in the neck on his porch, and he died from those.
So even though they say he was targeted, it still could be random.
Yeah, that seems random to me.
It does.
You know,
Shot in the neck. Well, I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter if you're not a good shot.
I mean, did he get burgled? Did he get his car jacked? But he also says violent.
He was on a violent spree.
Yeah.
The guy was on a violent spree.
Yeah.
We talked about Melissa Casillas. Dr. Michael David Hicks, research scientist, NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL, shows up again there. 24 years specializing in near-Earth asteroids and comets. Of course, we worry about those. Like that big sonic boom they just had the other day that was heard all across the northeastern United States. That was several thousand-pound rock that ended up hurtling into the ocean. I mean, it's kind of important stuff to know.
I mean, meteors fall all the time to Earth.
Yeah.
It's just usually so small it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
But there's big rocks out there too.
Yeah. Or there's spaceships.
Yeah, or spaceships.
I mean, because I watch a lot of movies. I mean, that's my thought. It's like, this thing went crashed through the sky. Nobody really saw it. They saw the streak. Could have been an aircraft. I mean, that's what brought Jalel here, right? Kal-El.
Kal-El.
Yeah. But anyway, he passed away at the age of 59. His daughter spoke out to CNN to clear the air, clarifying her father died after a private, long-standing struggle with known medical issues. She expressed deep distress over the internet twisting his passing into a conspiracy. But yet, there's several people who have had medical or mental issues, working in the same field. Maybe they were susceptible to the same environment that caused some of the problems that were there. By the way, exoplanet is the gases surrounding a planet.
Yeah.
So it's dealing with the layers of gases on there. Should have looked that up first. I'm stupid.
You're an idiot.
I'm an idiot.
I'm sorry we're harping on that, but
Yeah,
that
but
kind of bugs me too.
So I mean, people can form their own opinion on what they think's going on here. I'm not so sure that this is something that
It's related.
it's related. It could all be random. I mean, there's so many random things that people try to tie together, sew together with a stitch,
And I don't know. I mean, just me, like I know a lot of, oh my God, like uber smart people that are just on a different level of consciousness and intelligence. And they're usually a little strange. They like to do a lot of little strange things. They, strange eating habits. They talk strange. They're socially awkward. So people going missing that I think are probably geniuses to me, it wouldn't seem like it's something,
Well, there is that. I think we talked about it in another podcast, the idea that, that people that are so intelligent, a lot of times are not good socially.
Right.
They don't have that, they don't have that ability to relate on a one-to-one basis. Don't have a lot of friends, or kind of, And I think in many ways, when you're looking for someone focused, I think the government looks for people like that.
Yeah. I mean,
because then they're not distracted. They're not easily distracted by outside influences.
Yep. I agree 100%.
But at the same time, sometimes they can be turned because They don't have that ability to say, what you're telling me is bullshit,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. To the average person, maybe they look at something and says, hey, well, we want you to study this particular piece of rock, or we want you to take a look at this. And the average person, yeah, it's bullshit. And they might think it's bullshit, but they're going to want to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to figure out it's bullshit. So yeah, I'll sign up and go and do what you're asking me to do. You know, sign the little non-disclosure agreements, and then then they got to disappear everybody. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they end up
Project's
missing
over.
scientists.
Yeah.
So you've got 3 more individuals that are being sought after that have disappeared. Monica Jacinto Reza disappeared in June 2025 on a routine weekend hike in a forested area near Los Angeles. Well, people get missing all the time.
Yeah.
Out there. Anthony Chavez was a former engineer and technician at Los Alamos National Laboratory, another one associated with Los Alamos, just kind of, but he's 79 years old.
He's 79, yeah.
So he's probably died. He probably just died of old age.
And then Steven Garcia, yeah, it's like my cat disappeared out into the trees and never came back.
Yeah.
Steven Garcia was a high clearance property custodian and defense contractor at a sensitive nuclear weapons infrastructure facility.
So he's a custodian. What is that? I mean, well, and a defense contractor, but that's all that means is you're a defense contractor custodian.
Custodian, yeah. I mean, he probably had.
He goes into rooms. He goes into rooms that have highly classified material.
Information, yeah.
So he's got to be highly high clearance for that.
Now they don't state his age here, right? It's a known fact. He went missing August 28th, 2025. Because this specific facility handled high secure strategic inventory. His disappearance immediately raised red flags for federal agencies.
So saying that maybe he took something that he shouldn't have taken.
Spy.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe spying for something, and then all of a sudden decided he didn't want to do it anymore, or he did it, got caught, and
Or maybe he saw something that freaked him the heck out.
yeah, could be.
You know, there's also that aspect of it too. I mean, what are these research facilities doing that we might not even know about?
I mean, if you look at the roles these people had, you can definitely come to a conclusion. Like you say, if you put them all in one room, except for the custodian, I guess you clean up after everything. But for the mess debate,
Hey, Stephen, I spilled my Coke.
yeah,
Can you-
you got a little of the glowy green stuff on the broom. Can you make sure you wash that off before you put it away? But yeah, no, to me, as I'm reading this, it does seem more just like a coincidence of what's going on here. And I haven't read it. I've kind of glimpsed through some of these earlier, and but I never really actually just read them out. What happened to these people, where they were currently. I'm picking it up as you're picking it up, unless you already knew. And as I'm doing this, yeah, it seems less and less like a conspiracy and more just like a coincidence. And individually, they may have their own situations that could have led to what happened, but I don't think collectively it's all part of one conspiracy.
Yeah, I just don't. With everything I'm looking at, I don't see it. So for those of you who are conspiracy theorists and say, yes, this is a definite connection between all. So we've got 4 more people on this list that were not necessarily as closely associated with things, but yet they have similar backgrounds. We mentioned Amy Eskridge, which she was the first one that disappeared back in 2022, or at least the first one that we know of here that disappeared in 2022. Then we have another jet propulsion laboratory guy, Dr. Frank Mywald, a senior space research specialist and hardware engineer at NASA, focusing on deep space communications and advanced satellite systems.
Yeah.
And apparently Elon Musk has a lot of satellites up there.
Well, you know what's funny? A little tangent here. All the pictures in space, you never see a satellite floating around.
Well, maybe because there aren't really any up there.
Yeah. I mean, either that or wherever the picture's taken may not be high enough, but I don't know. It's kind of weird. I always thought about it.
Well, you sent me that video about the flat earther thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if it was in that video I was watching or something else, but they were saying something about how because of where the satellites are suborbital or something like that, they're in the very very hot area of the atmosphere, and all the gold connections would melt because they wouldn't survive that and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, so the,
Yeah.
and I think that was the flat earther people saying that,
Yeah, it
oh,
was
there's no way that it could possibly be in there.
Yeah. I've gone on a flat Earth rabbit hole, which we still want to do.
Yeah, we got to do something.
We got to do something on flat Earth.
But anyway, that's just a random thought there. So that's a couple people there. You want to hit Dr. Nuno?
Yeah, Dr. Nuno Lurerio. Of course,
Yeah,
you would give
something
me
like
that one.
I would.
He was
I
a
can't pronounce it either, so don't feel bad.
prominent MIT plasma physicist and director of MIT's Plasma Science and Fusion Center. That's huge. Now, again, I think if these people all disappeared at the same time, then it'd be more of a conspiracy, but spread out. I think I'm thinking if all these guys that work together on a specific project and they noticed that people that they were working with were disappearing, then, well, I guess they probably disappear themselves just to make sure that they don't get.
Or they were next on the list to be got.
Or felt they was next. They would be.
But
next on the
I
list.
don't. There's nothing to say that any of these people were all in the room at the same time,
No.
or even working on the same thing. I mean, you got deep space communications, right? You got plasma physicists, which I'm sure that's some sort of a weapon. You know, plasma lasers and things like that. I mean, high energy
propulsion.
stuff. You got jet propulsion people. You got
Chemical
mapping out
biology.
dark matter,
Yep.
right? So it's all, the possibility of interplanetary stuff, weapons in space,
Anti-gravity.
anti-gravity, trying to do that. So biomedical, the next one, read Dr. Thomas here for us.
Oh, so let me finish with Nuno. He was also fatally shot multiple times outside his home in Brookline, Massachusetts on December 15th, 2025.
So just 6 months ago.
Just not too long ago. Despite massive speculations tying him to the aerospace list, I guess that's what we're calling it officially, the aerospace list, local authorities treat it as an isolated incident.
But what if they're wrong? Again, here, I can't really take a side one way or the other because
you almost have to contradict yourself. And I know I'm doing it as I'm reading these, because at some points I can see certain connections, and at other points it's just like it's complete BS. I don't know where I stand. I don't think it's necessarily a conspiracy. I think overall I feel it's probably just isolated incidents and it's a coincidence. But at the same time, my scientific entertainment brain, right? The things I've learned from all the movies I've watched, which is 90% science fiction. Yeah. This just adds to the list of it. It just makes sense, because that's the way it makes sense in all these movies that I've watched. Like we talked about before, in Sphere and The Arrival, and what was the one you mentioned? Contact and stuff. Where they pull all these people together and they have them do things.
Art imitates life sometimes.
Yeah. And so we have Dr. Jason Thomas. He was a chemical biology researcher at a biomedical company, Novartis. He went missing December, also another December person. He went missing in December 2025 after walking away from his Massachusetts home, also in Massachusetts. His body was tragically recovered from a local lake months later, back actually in March 2026, they found his body.
Yeah, and he was from not my alma mater, my town. He graduated or worked with University of Arizona. There, that was something that's not in there, but yeah, that's pretty crazy. I just,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think we're going to come up with any conclusions on this particular podcast about this. We're just kind of letting everybody know, what people are saying about this stuff. Don't really have a conclusion, I mean.
I don't think anyone could. I mean, it takes some really high level spycraft and research and data collection in order to try to connect these guys together, and to assume that this aerospace list is an actual list of people who, you know, would be targeted for something that they've worked on in the past, including the custodian.
Yeah, well,
You gotta throw the custodian in there.
but then again, you know, I mean, he might be a custodian, but he might have deeper ties to something else
Yeah.
that we're not privy to.
Well, you definitely have to have super clearance because you're not getting into some of these rooms unless, you know, your badge doesn't exist officially, you
Yeah.
know, type of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And if you guys you're hearing this and you have comments on, you know, your theories or whatever, share them. I mean, just don't write like, you know, 3 or 4 little words. Write something out and and we'll you know, we do a follow up.
3 words. You're an idiot. It's 3 words. I think that's what he's referring to.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably use your comments on a later podcast if we have something to follow up on
Yeah.
this. And
I'd give you that guy's name, but I can't remember it.
Mud.
Mud. Your name is Mud.
That's what we'll call him, Mud.
Whatever. It's just gets my craw.
And tier number 4, this is the filler cases used. I don't understand what that means, but
Well, what I'm saying, these are individuals that were added to bring the total up to 16.
oh, okay.
Which, you know, are just kind of people that they threw in there, you know, that could possibly be. Because Air Force Research Laboratory is this first guy, you know, he's a technical specialist. You know, there was a isolated tragic domestic murder. How do you say it without
Murder.
saying the word?
It was a mutual. It was a
Mutual offing
unaliving
society.
and self
Unaliving.
unaliving. Yeah.
Yeah. Unaliving and self-unaliving case. But then again, that was later determined domestically linked. So,
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
unless well, it'd be interesting to know who did what
yeah.
in that case. I mean, I know that we could probably dive down deeper in there, but who did what to who first and what, you know.
But
what was all
here's
about.
off on a tangent for a second. Have you noticed, or does it seem, is it just that we are able to get the reporting so much quicker, or is there so much more of this, you know, crime against your spouse and a crime against, you know, the offing and self-offing and offing of other
Unaliving and
people,
self-unaliving?
yeah, I
Yeah.
can't remember what I said. The unaliving of people. Is there so much more of it today, or are we just hearing about it more?
I think, you know, I had a conversation with someone about that, about how things seem to be more prevalent and more, you know, consistent as time has gone on. But I think you hit the nail on the head. I think it's because, you know, back in the day, we only got local news. It's very rare we would hear what's happening in New York or, you know, Texas or whatever, because you're watching Channel 2 News. It's a local news. And I think with internet and with, you know,
24/7 news coverage.
24/7 news coverage, you have Reuters and all these other people that are just basically, you know, depositing news stories within all these other outlets. These, you know, so I think we're seeing a lot more of it because now we're not just tapped into what happens here in Florence, Oregon. We're tapped into what happens everywhere.
Well, and sort of along those lines, not that I want to bring up Nancy Grace again, but years ago there was an incident in Hendersonville, North Carolina, which got national attention about a woman, an Hispanic woman, had her baby in the bathroom and left it in the dumpster in the bathroom. And so because I was with the radio station there, her people called me up and wanted to interview me, you know, for that. And I did an interview on her show, and I was like, she is sensationalizing this in a way that does not correspond to what the actual facts are. And I think that because of that, I got cut off fairly early in the interview. But I made it onto the show. But she was trying to she was trying to sensationalize it for viewers.
Sounds about right.
You know,
Sounds
and
very
so
Nancy
she
Grace.
wasn't concerned with the facts so much as she was with just, you know, making up her own story about what was going on. So that's, you know, that's a lot of, and not that she was mainline news back then.
No. But if you ever watch Nancy Grace, you get the gist of it. I totally I can see that 100%.
Yeah, and there's been some great parodies on her too. In fact, Saturday Night Live's done a couple of them years ago. She's that are really funny.
She's almost a parody of herself too.
Kind of.
Because I mean, I watched her when I was younger, and I watched her, and it was always like, bated breath. I'm waiting for her next word she's going to say out because, you're on pins and needles and sitting on the edge of your chair. And now I'm watching her, I'm just like, she is hamming this up. She's like the William Shatner of news broadcast, right? And
Well, and then the same aspect is you got when Jerry Springer first started out as a talk show host, then it became the Melee Circus.
the smut, yeah,
Who's your daddy?
yeah.
And
Maury
so he
Povich,
was like,
all those guys, yeah.
he found out that, you can sensationalize something and get more popular for it.
People wanted it.
Yeah.
People
They still want it.
And people want this. A lot of people out there want this to be exactly what it
What
seems
it is
like.
seems like a conspiracy.
Yeah. It's not like so much as researching the fact. There's people out there that will fight tooth and nail for this to be exactly what it seems like, instead of just kind of thinking that, these things, I mean, if you think of how many people are walking around in the United States that have had jobs, I'm pretty sure I can put a list of, 30 literal baristas that may have disappeared within the last, 2 years.
Is there a barista conspiracy?
There could be if we wanted to build one. I'm pretty sure we can put together a list of 30 baristas who may have died or disappeared within the last, 4 years, and make it look exactly like this list and come up with our own conspiracy on how people hate coffee.
Yeah.
I mean, you can
And
do
hate
it with
baristas for making
and hate
it.
baristas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got my name wrong for the last time, Jerky. It's
Yeah.
it's Lisa with the LEI as it, So, but yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people there's people out there who just need this to be.
They can make
exactly
almost anything become a conspiracy.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. I believe that. Hey, another tangent going off here for a second. Maybe this will make a good clip. I have been noticing, and I don't know how many other podcasts you peruse during the day, but there are a lot of well-known podcasters out there advertising for guests. Have you noticed that?
No.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's several of the ones, several of the mainstream ones have put these things up there. We're looking for, guests that do this, or we're looking for couples that do that, or we're looking for entrepreneurs that are doing that. One guy said on he says, there's only so many of this level of people I can get. So now I'm looking for this level of people. So when I think about you and I inviting guests onto the show, we've only had 3 in almost a year that we've been doing this. I think part of it is because neither one of us really had the time to go out there and, and try to get.
Well, just for the record, we've had several that we were in talks with.
Yes.
We've had several that we were in
And
talks
still
with.
are. I mean,
Yeah.
but we just,
Yeah.
it's been a long drawn out,
Yeah.
because we talked to him, like we have one that is an Iranian author that we were going to pull on about the Iran affair. They said they were going to send us his book. I haven't gotten the book yet. We want to read what he's writing about before we get on. We want to be knowledgeable for that stuff. So, we can't set a date and time to meet with this person because of that.
We also
Dr.
had
Donaldson wants to come back on.
we had a behavioral specialist that we were in talks, and I got good feedback, got email confirmation that we were going to do it, and then,
Yeah.
Yeah,
we have the people that are the family that produces pork roll in New Jersey, Taylor's Pork Roll, big, huge thing in New Jersey, and it's becoming nationwide. We had them on the hook to do it, and then nothing.
Yeah.
I think once I mentioned that we do video too, they were like, "Oh no,
Yeah. And we can do just audio. You want to come in
no,
and
we
do audio?
can't.
Yeah,
I'm not going
can.
to stoop that low."
We can do it. I think the audio. I mean, look at these 2 beautiful faces.
I know you don't want to miss this.
Yeah, you get an hour's worth of this and the third voice. I mean, yeah, I think it might be okay.
This is random thought. I was watching Steve Harvey, the show that he does. What's the Family Feud?
Mm-hmm.
And they had one family, and it was a black guy named John, a white guy named John. But when he went to the guy, he goes, "Why are you called Baker?" Something like that. I mean, he goes, "Well, I didn't want you to refer to us as Black John and White John." So
that was on one family.
That was one family. That was in one family. There. So I thought it was funny, you know. It was like, but anyway, because obviously, Larry and I are two different colors.
If you haven't noticed,
Not that it's a big deal.
and I'll tell you in advance, if we are the same color in your television, you need to seek help right now.
You need a new TV.
Yeah,
is what
you
you
need
need.
either a new TV or a new doctor.
Or new medication. Yeah. But anyway, so I just thought that was funny.
That is funny. That is hilarious. There were 2 unnamed jet propulsion laboratory people, which I think is kind of weird. And from
Yeah, why unnamed?
Los Alamos staff, I don't know. Lawmakers noted that public reports cite 2 more individuals affiliated with NASA's jet propulsion labs and 2 affiliated with Los Alamos. Los
Alamos.
Alamos.
Yeah, you got it.
Were names whose names had not been widely publicized by law enforcement to protect the family privacy. Oh, so that's the reason why they're unnamed. Yeah, it wasn't because we didn't know who they were. That would be kind of stupid, right? We know what they did. We know where they were, but we don't know who they are. But we know that they were jet. That would be kind of dumb. The internet's move. Viral internet threads like these have taken 4 nameless slots mentioned in the congressional briefings and fabricated generic names for them. So Monica Reza and Stephen Garcia.
Well, no, they're real.
variants.
They're just using that as an example.
Those are real
are
people.
they're just unverified as to whether they're part of the
I see.
11 or not. That's my
So-
take on it, anyway.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, that's just very strange. It is very, very strange. The whole thing. Now, with the 2 unnamed individuals, that would probably feed more into the conspiracy theorist folks, right? Like as the why
Well, yeah, why they're not named.
they're not named.
Yeah, why you don't have a name for them.
And it could be also to keep the media off their front porch.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that has a lot to do with it, too. Back in the late 80s, there was, you might remember the Marconi scientists. It was a cluster of over 20 British defense tech scientists working for Marconi Defense Systems, the secret Star Wars aerospace technology, died or disappeared under highly unusual circumstances within a few years. Now, these were people all on the same project.
Right.
Now, again, you've heard of the cluster cancer, right? People that live under high power tension lines, they end up getting cancer and they die. There was a movie based on that was based on a true story, where they got money for kids that were in a school that lived under power lines and that. So the idea that these 20 people working in an environment that could have potentially had hazardous materials involved in it, whether it caused their death, whether it caused a mental illness that caused their death, whatever it was, this was more likely something that could have been explained.
Well, they said died or disappeared under highly unusual circumstances. The died part I would get, but the disappeared part kind of makes it more of a conspiracy, right? That's
Well, again, they're, you're working on something as secretive as Star Wars technology, right? And I've heard something about something Elon. I'm trying to remember if this was something that I dreamt about or something that I saw. It's really weird when it comes together. But something that someone said that. I remember what it was. It was one of Elon Musk's baby mamas was saying that he had enough weapons in his satellites to effectively take care of anything that happens.
that Elon does.
Yeah.
Wow.
So which makes but so anyway, so another conspiracy there that we just started, but the idea that some of the stuff, these people may be the ones that disappeared, maybe they went to work somewhere else, someone pilfered them from that, or they were kidnapped to go work for somewhere else, again, conspiracy theories.
Yeah, there's again a lot of movies that will help feed the narrative if you watch them and you look at the comparison and parallel of what happens in the movies and what happens here. You know, the movies will make this completely plausible. Like it could definitely be something real here, but also could just be completely nothing. It just, again, like I said, you know, you can literally, if you went in and start looking for people who died or disappeared that were baristas, that worked at Starbucks or at multiple, you know, coffee outlets or whatever.
Dutch Bros.
Or Dutch Bros, yeah. Even the guy that's at McDonald's who just for some reason only wants to serve you coffee because he doesn't want to do anything else, you know, they can be probably added to that list. You can create a list just like this. I am 100% certain of that. You know, tech support guys. You know, how many tech support guys go out hiking and they disappear and they find their bodies? So, I think we can conjure up anything we want.
Yeah, and how often? I mean, you know, people go hiking all the time and disappear. They get lost or they get dehydrated. They end up dying. You know, out there that has absolutely nothing to do with
their
anything.
job or anything. And like even what was that actor, Julian Sands, right? It was one of my favorite actors. He didn't do a lot of big movies or anything like that, but he was kind of big.
I'm trying to think of.
Remember the movie Warlock? He was in Warlock.
Was he the Warlock?
He was the Warlock.
The white-haired.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He Julian Sands. He was in the Naked Lunch.
I remember. Yeah, I remember what he looks like now. Yeah.
You know, they said he was an avid hiker. The guy knew his stuff. He disappeared and died. You know, out there hiking. So it's like, you know, people know what they're doing.
Did he work for Jet Propulsion Laboratories?
God, I hope not. I don't even think he did any movies about science. It's, you know, I knew he was a warlock, but that's about it. And he was a butterfly or whatever it was he was in the Naked Lunch. It's kind of weird. But, you know, people disappear when they go hiking. So I don't know. I think it's a fun nothing, honestly. But
Well, except for the people who are missing and dead.
It's not for them. Yeah, right. Not for them or their families.
But you know,
I mean,
to
just
think it might be a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Yeah, to try to put it together like that.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. That part, not the outcome of the people and their families and whatnot. I feel for them.
Yeah.
But
getting back to something I mentioned earlier, talking about the Age of Disclosure documentary that came out last year. Now this Thursday, coming out is Steven Spielberg Disclosure Day, which is listed as a political thriller science fiction.
ooh,
So the idea of it, governments around the world have denied the existence of extraterrestrial contact. Then without warning, world leaders announce a global televised event called Disclosure Day, promising to reveal the truth. And a veteran radio journalist, Jack Mercer, is assigned to cover what is expected to be another government public relations stunt. However, that's not what it is. I think this is a movie we have to go see.
I got those movie passes. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Actually, that's going to be our first
Oh, so you're
movie
doing the trivia thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have to stay for that one for sure. Those of you who don't live here locally, Deb and I own a radio station or two radio stations, and we do a Thursday night blockbuster movie preview every summer. So every preview that comes out, we're there and we do trivia on that. And so we're going to get to do Disclosure Day. So that'll be fun.
well, I might show up for trivia.
That might be
just
good.
for trivia.
Yeah, you do too well on trivia.
Yeah.
You
So yeah, a little side tangent. We'd known each other, but we never at this time we weren't even hanging out. And George is doing trivia, and I think at one point he's like, "If you don't know, ask this guy."
yeah, ask this guy; he'll tell you.
Ask this guy. He has the answer.
Because what we do is to make it easier for everybody is that you can ask somebody in the audience. You know, because we want to give the prizes away. We don't want to, not give the prizes away. So, yeah. Again, I don't know what else we can say about this.
Yeah,
To be honest with you.
I mean, take your own opinion. I like I said, take your own opinion. I would not weigh too heavily on the idea that it is, the government is just, pulling up with vans and throwing people in the back of, vans with the hood over their face and either shooting them, staging it to make it look like they've either died from a crazed dude that stole his parents' car or went and hiking in the woods and shot themselves. I mean,
But again, it kind of reads out there like a Hollywood script.
It does.
You know,
It does.
It really does. And don't put it past any government out there, including our own, to say, you know, maybe these people were going to talk.
They know too
Maybe
much.
these people were going to say something. Maybe these people are going to, maybe they already let classified information out to other governments, you know? We don't know.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, I mean, like I say, yeah, you can definitely go down that. You can definitely go down that rabbit hole. Like I said, as I read it on the surface, it does think of conspiracy. It does seem like, you know, these guys are all kind of in the same thing. They live in different states. They, you know, a few of them live in different states.
Mm-hmm.
The circumstances where local police were involved and all that type of stuff, and I'm just sitting there thinking, yeah, I don't know if it's
11 individuals can a conspiracy make. No
11
doubt about it.
can.
They don't even need 11.
Now, if they mentioned that they all worked on the same project, if there was any hint, if you can connect, if anyone out there, if you have this information, please share it with us. But if you can connect, you know, 10 out of the 11, or you know, especially if you can connect all 11 somehow, where at some point they're all in the same area, or they did the same thing, or, you know, worked in the same project,
Or an email chain or anything that brings them together. And I know that's, you know, when we watch movies, that's kind of one of the things they show is like, okay, first thing to do, how are these people connected?
Right.
So you know that if the government is curious, they're probably looking at it.
Right. Yeah.
How these things. And so there may be more on this in weeks to come yet. Again, the last one just discovered May 26th of this year, just a couple weeks ago. So it's, you know, there's still a few people missing that could end up being discovered in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. That's all I got on it.
Yeah, that's all I got. Beat it to death.
But still, we're still interested in hearing your take on it. Again, no comments is really bad comments unless you just drop in a three-word sentence.
Yeah,
and
unless
disappear.
you're just trying to be disparaging without giving us some background.
Right.
Like I said, we love discourse. You want to start a discourse with us? You know, put down in there why specifically. This is why I think you're an idiot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then we may end up agreeing. I've done that before. I've found myself at fault once.
Yeah.
Okay, twice.
Mud's gonna watch this and go, I wish I never said
Well, you know, but see, we're not calling him out.
that. No, we're not.
You know, he calls us out on social media,
Yeah.
and I didn't even call him out back. I just said, "Yeah, I understand. You think I'm an idiot. Tell me why. That's all. I'm not saying that I'm not mad at you for saying that. Just want to know why you think that."
And we've gotten not a huge amount of response, but we got comments and stuff that come through. I think this is the second time we've gotten something where somebody said something with absolutely no context, no real, you know.
But we've gotten some good stuff too.
We got a lot of good stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The other one was a guy that just said cult. So I don't know if he was talking about what we were saying, that we're a cult, or if what we were talking about, the subject we were talking about, had to do with a cult.
Cold. Yeah.
So, anyway,
Yeah, I don't know. That's what we got.
thanks for staying. Like and subscribe. Tune into our little clips that we're doing now. Big shout out to our Opus Clips. If you have not seen the videos on that, if you do any podcasting or any long form stuff like that, it's a really great way to, kind of get your message out there in little segments. And then we've gotten people added to it. In fact, by the way, Larry, since we've been sitting here, we're now at 120. Somebody liked us while we were doing this.
I think it was Mud.
And I'm toying with, and I don't know how you feel about it, I'm toying about doing one of these live.
Oh, I'd love to do a live one.
Let's do a live one.
I think we should.
Maybe our next one will be a live one.
Yeah.
Let us know if you think we should do a live one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, never mind. We don't care if you think we should or not. We're going to do one. We'll do a live one. I think we'll do that.
I think I agree.
All right.
I
We'll just
agree.
have to find a good topic, and we ought to get somebody in here to monitor the feed.
Oh, that'd be cool.
We'd need a producer.
Yeah, just kind of read what's going on, what people are saying.
Yeah.
and then
So
jump
if
up and
people
jump on.
are commenting or responding back to it.
Yeah, that sounds. I can't currently. We can do it on Facebook too, but I currently can't because I'm on Facebook Jail
Again?
again.
How did you get on there?
I mentioned that Hunter Biden did crack. Can't do that.
You can't.
No. It was a drug reference. It wasn't so much as a political thing. I think it was just
Oh.
a drug reference.
Wasn't so much that he did crack.
No.
It's that you used the word
I
crack.
used the word crack. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So I got like 2 days, no live feeds, no.
So if you'd have said he used illicit drugs,
I would have probably been perfectly
Probably
fine.
been
Yeah. And the comment was, I think it was it Harry Sisson came on and said something about he said he's smoking the competition or something like that, and I was like, yeah, like a rock, like crack cocaine. It's just,
so you just piled right on.
I just piled on.
Yeah.
It was funny. He opened it up by saying he smoked.
Yeah.
You say that and you smoked anything, it was just opened up for.
And by the way, I don't think that guy looks anything like J.D. Vance.
Oh, the big guy.
Yeah.
Oh, so, yeah. He does. If you shrink his face down.
Yeah, but if you shrink his face down, you shrink his body down, then he looks like J.D. Vance.
Yeah.
That's definitely an over-exaggerated.
Oh yeah, that was. I don't know. I can't say Tim Walz. And what we're talking about is there's tons of them floating around
my
right
goodness.
now, and I just think they're
And
hilarious.
Larry's reposting all of them.
Because I have to give JD Vance his props because when the meme was made, it was made about JD Vance, right? And I think it was from Tim Walz's camp. That's from my understanding. If you guys know the history of it, let me know. But my understanding, it was Tim Walz's camp that did it. And instead of JD Vance immediately going back and firing at it, he owned it. He owned it, and they start making these videos. So the people who are making the videos, from my understanding, are more from a conservative camp, but they're just hilarious. They're pictures of the heavy JD Vance with the beard and the curly hair.
Blue
and he's got a
suit,
blue suit,
red tie.
red socks, ties, with short pants. And he's doing all these amazing things like martial arts and break dancing. And there's one where they drop him in
Parkour.
Iran. Yeah, parkour. And they are just hilarious. I mean, the AI on there is just funny. I think they're funny.
When you have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, tune in next time, and maybe it'll be a live one. We'll see.
Peace out. Again, like he said, like, comment, subscribe, visit us. The contest is still going on. So
No.
Oh, no.
I forgot to mention that. Oh, my goodness, because it's June.
It's June, right?
Yeah.
So we have to pick.
Mike Miller. Mike Miller is the winner. And I would have told you in advance, and you could have been part of it. I'll tell you why afterwards.
Okay. So
But anyway, so congratulations to Mike Miller. He wanted a cup. I told Mike Miller I would have given him a cup anyway. I wish he would have gotten something bigger.
there we
But
go.
He's got a cup. So
I was the
congratulations.
15th. We were doing
Oh, I just said June. I don't know.
Yeah.
Did we say the 50th? I don't think we said the 50th. I think we said in June.
See, I wasn't there in the meeting. I was there
You
at
missed
the
the
meeting.
meeting.
I missed the meeting.
He was playing Cookie Jam.
I was watching
or
JD
something.
Vance.
He was
videos.
watching JD Vance videos. Anyway, peace.
Take care.
It's these two guys. These two guys.
It's these two guys.